What's good, guys? Darkish Raider. If you haven't already read the title, this is what I thought about this year's E3 of 2012. Now, first, let me just go on and say this year's 2012 E3 was horrible. And I partly blame myself for that. Every year I get my high hopes for E3, and it turns out every year I'm actually setting myself up for disappointment. Out of this whole E3, in general, not point out any specific conferences, out of the entire E3, the whole 4 days, the only games revealed that we didn't already see coming was Beyond Two Souls from Sony's conference and Watch Dogs from Ubisoft's conference. And I guess ZombiU 2. Now everybody's probably making videos saying PlayStation 1 E3. Listen, keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who favors the PS3 over any other console. Sony's conference was not all that. It just wasn't as terrible as Xbox and Nintendo's conference. Let's start off with Xbox. You guys started off with your smart glass. It's just a distraction to me. To me, the whole idea of smart glass is just to distract from video games. All the multimedia stuff, it doesn't make me want to get out and get a 360. I was hoping this year's E3, Microsoft would show something that makes me want to get out and get a 360. You guys failed. And you guys hyping up Nickelodeon? What the? Listen, Microsoft. People are least likely to invest in video games before they invest in cable. So why will we need your 360 to watch Nickelodeon? I know me personally, I probably would buy video games before I find myself paying a cable bill, because even now I barely watch TV. But I'm just one person. I doubt the majority audience really would rather pay for video games than cable. So no, Microsoft, putting Nickelodeon on your console, not what we want. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Everybody's giving that game a lot of hate because I know Call of Duty's been a little generic over the past years. I thought Black Ops 2 looked pretty cool, but I don't see how it's supposed to persuade me to get a 360 when it's also coming out on PS3. I I think this just proves that when it comes to exclusives, not Halo, Microsoft just falls short. Halo and Gears of War, the only exclusive games you guys showed at your press conference. And even Halo, I'll never understand why people hype Halo up so much when it's so cliche. Halo is nothing new. It's just like Resistance, Killzone, Dead Space, any shooter that has aliens. It's nothing new or innovative. Get over it, Halo fanboys. I'm not bashing the game in any way. If you guys want to play it, go ahead and play it, but don't act like it's something we've never seen before. Now, in my personal opinion, Xbox had the worst conference this year. Let's move on to the second worst. Nintendo. Nintendo. Last year, Z3, you guys didn't announce your Wii U, but you showed off the Wii U, a little bit of what it could do. And a lot of people were asking questions of exactly what it was. This year, questions still aren't answered. It showed us some games. Pikmin 3, don't really care at all. 2 game pads can now be used with the Wii U. Not what I'd call a groundbreaking announcement. Super Mario Wii U. I think it's called Mii U. Being the Mario fanboy that I am, I probably would still get this game, even though they're not. It doesn't look like they're doing anything new with it. But it just seems like a game I have to get. I don't know why. Guys showed off a lot of stuff we didn't care about. Nothing surprising. And this whole video I'm making is just awkward because nothing exciting to talk about at your E3. Zombie U did catch my attention. And that's it. Oh, and New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. Why, Nintendo? Why? To me, this game is just a... Well, I don't want to say a downgrade, but I just don't think it's going to be as good as 3D Land on New Super Mario Bros. 3D Land. I don't think it's going to be as good. So why would you bother making this sequel to a game that came out, what, 7 years ago on the original DS, and when you already have a 3D platformer on the 3DS? I don't understand that, Nintendo. But as I said, being the Mario fanboy that I am, I'm probably still gonna get it regardless. I just doubt I'll be getting it brand new though. Yeah, that's it for how I feel about Nintendo's conference. You guys showed off a bunch of third-party games like Batman and Mass Effect 3. Batman, the Armored Edition, looks pretty cool. I just don't know if it's cool enough for me to, get Batman on the Wii U, a game that I already beat on my PS3. And now we move on to PlayStation's conference. Here's the thing about PlayStation's conference. PlayStation's conference gave us a little taste of what E3 is supposed to be about, or at least what I feel it should be about. I feel that it should be about just straight up announcements, things we don't already know about. That's what I feel E3 should be about, and PlayStation, they did it 1.5 times. I'm going to explain why. The only thing you guys really revealed was Beyond Two Souls. I would say you guys also revealed Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, but even that was hinted before E3. Even before E3, I read an article on IGN about an upcoming Vita Assassin's Creed game starring a female assassin. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was equally excited. I mean, those are probably the only two things at your conference that really made me jump up and say hooray. That's not to say that I'm not going to be keeping an eye out on the other games like God of War and Last of Us. I'm just saying I knew about those games already. Beyond Two Souls. Personally, I feel like recently gaming has been overrun with a lot of shooters. And even if they weren't really shooters, they were games that involved some type of gun or had a primary focus on just guns. Like, for example, Borderlands 2. It's not a shooter, but it has a focus on guns. I want a game that's not about guns. And it looks like this is what this new upcoming game, Beyond Two Souls, is going to offer me. I'm just tired of pressing a trigger. I've done that too many times in video games, and I want something just superpowers, As for Ubisoft's conference, Watch Dogs did look pretty interesting. This year's E3, it was better than last year's E3. Last year's E3 just didn't have any surprises. I mean, godly, I knew everything that was announced at E3 last year, with the exception of Luigi's Mansion 2. That was probably the only surprise from last year. And Medieval Moves from PlayStation's conference, but really no one cared about that game. PlayStation Wonder Book. PlayStation All-Stars. A lot of people have been comparing it to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Me, personally, I'm a big Brawl fan myself. As for All-Stars, they showed some gameplay, and they showed how basically it's similar to Mod Nation Racers. Like, you can keep a special You can use it, or you can hold on to it and get a level 2 or get a level 3 and just basically keep upgrading it. And I did think that was pretty interesting. It's a good variation from Brawl, instead of, a bunch of characters on the screen going after a ball to determine who gets the special. So, still not really sure if it's a first day buy, but I will be keeping my eye out for PlayStation All Stars. If you guys really want me to get it, please just put Cole in it. Because without Cole, even playing this game, it's going to feel like there's something missing from it. You guys had Cole freaking guest star on Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You guys can't put him in your own first party game of exclusive characters. And I don't know why Big Daddy. I don't know why they putting Big Daddy in that game. I don't think he's an exclusive character. But hell, if you guys are gonna put multi-plat characters like Big Daddy, might as well throw in Ezio and Alex Mercer. I'm just saying. Last of Us. I was interested in the trailer they showed, but still, I don't feel. It's complicated because I don't feel like Last of Us is that innovative, but at the same time I do, because of the level of depth they're going into. But I don't think it's really not coming out anytime soon, so we're just gonna wait for that one. God of War Ascension. I'm a big God of War fan, and I know they're trying to make it brand new. They're trying to make God of War Ascension something we haven't experienced before. And you can tell by what they showed at the demo at E3, when Kratos used some thingamabob to rewind time and reconstruct the bridge and use it to his advantage to get from point B to point A. I have mixed feelings about the multiplayer. How I feel about it is, basically, no matter how good the single player is, there is no denying that it would have been much better if they did not have multiplayer. That's just fact. If they put no resources into multiplayer and put all their efforts into single player, that's just more quality that the single player would have. But at the same time, I do think it's nice to have a God of War game with some replay value, so we'll just wait and see. I'm pretty sure the single player is going to be good regardless, but I'm going to have to wait and see how the multiplayer is going to carry out. Assassin's Creed 3, one word, epic, awesome. We all know that's going to be a great game. Can't wait. Can't wait till October 30th. Pick up Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. Thank you, PlayStation. You're finally giving me something to do at my Vita. It's been over here collecting dust. Excited for a game coming out tomorrow that I will be getting, Gravity Rush. I played that demo and it was awesome. But really, Sony, you guys really do need to support the Vita a lot better, because I was actually expecting that at this year's E3 for you guys to come out with a lot more Vita games. But you guys gave us Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, a new Call of Duty game, Declassified I believe it's called, and PlayStation All Stars on the Vita. Not a bad touch. I was actually interested, I'm actually, for some reason, I'm more interested in All Stars as a handheld game than I am as a console game. But we're going to see how it all plays out. This is how I felt about this year's E3. Raider out.